You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
All right. Hey, it's iWalter, and it is Sunday night, July 12th, 2015. Folks, hopefully you don't hear the background. I do have my fan running in the background, even though we do have the air conditioning on in the house. Air conditioning on in the house. In the house. Yeah, you know what? It was funny. I just saw this story now. Honestly, not to be... Well, I've already, went down that path like numerous times about saying, well, I won't make this long tonight, but you know what? Seriously, tonight I think I really won't make it long. I actually read something that really kind of excited me on the entertainment field. I mean, it was about a show I grew up with, and it was by Sid and Marty Krofft. They used to do a lot of different shows back in the early 70s, ones that I woke up on Saturday morning and would watch. To name a few that I didn't watch, but I remember, was H.R. Huff and stuff, and Sigmund and the Sea Monster. I couldn't stand either one of them. And then basically later on, it was Land of the Lost. Well, that got made into a movie quite a few years ago at this point with Will Ferrell. And I was actually kind of disappointed because I loved that show. I thought it was really good with the Sleestacks. Especially the whole concept of the show was actually pretty advanced even for kids, because I ended up buying it twice already on DVD, the whole series. First time I bought it, I got rid of it. It was like, why did I do that? So I picked it up cheap again and refused to, if I don't even watch it, to get rid of it again. The whole premise was, it was a family that were going on a camping trip and end up finding themselves lost back in a prehistoric time somehow. They end up going through some type of vortex or, whatever, maybe even a, journey to the center of the Earth. But the bottom line is they met with these advanced creatures. They're almost like, if you watch Doctor Who, they kind of reminded me of the Silurians from Doctor Who, but they were called Sleestacks. And maybe they had taken that premise because the Silurians actually, give or take, were actually in the first season of Doctor Who, season of John Pertwee when he first started. The Silurians, I mean. I don't know if I said Sleestacks. I'm correct to myself if I did. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I grew up watching not all of them until I actually was able to buy the series when I grew up, obviously, so to speak. And it was like, it was cool because it was about dinosaurs and these people who ended up back in time. The Sleestacks were actually the most interesting thing because it kind of it's like that whole theory that there was some type of I forget who had mentioned it. Was a theory I heard about in college that somebody got laughed off about, that there was actually a reptilian race that perhaps could have possibly been the person on the highest name, I don't know how else to put it, like on the top of the food chain, so to speak, that were bipeds before humans were. And, it was just a theory that got laughed out. I forget what the theory was called, but the Sleestacks got a little bit close to that. It kind of reminded me of, again, the Doctor Who premise with the Silurians, and it also kind of reminded me, for some reason, the way they went, like, almost... the Time Machine. Don't ask me why. But, yeah, I mean, it was pretty interesting. There was that main sleaze stack that actually he was able to, he could have returned the family home. They basically had the ability to travel through time. That actually made it very interesting, too. But the whole premise was, like, definitely very interesting, made you think. You know, it was just really cool. And actually, the level that they expected you to think at was actually probably a little bit more advanced than you would expect from a show for, you know, a Saturday morning show for just like kids when I was, you know, under the age of 12. But this show actually really did make you think. So anyway, yeah, both Sid and Marty Krofft actually did admit that they made a major mistake when they allowed, basically, I don't know how else to put it, because I'm going to paraphrase, because it's something I really enjoyed when I was a kid. Hollywood allowed them to take over and make the decisions for them, and allowed them to turn the Saturday morning program into a comedy, which I actually did with the Brady Bunch. But this is more of a science fiction show. So they actually said they got the rights back for their story of, you know, the rights to basically the Land of the Lost, and they want to revamp and correct their mistake of that horrible movie that was made. I actually thought it was kind of funny. It did follow some of the premises, but of the original series, but it was basically designed because you have, you know, Will Ferrell from Saturday Night Live in there. They designed it to be a pure satire comedy, and they spend an awful lot of money making that film, and now they regret it. So I'm glad they realized they made a mistake. I apologize. I keep on stepping away from my mic, so it probably does not sound that good. I was on comicbook.com, so I was really psyched to see that. Anyway, before I lose my train of thought even more, so yesterday I did go to the Blobfest. That was the first one I've ever gone to. Yeah, it was actually kind of really cool. I have to admit, I almost fell asleep a few times trying to watch because I made it by the skin of my teeth. They had the roads closed in Phoenixville, so that did not help too much. The main road right in front of the movie theater was closed, and they had like things going on in the street. Had street venues set up. You could buy things. It was kind of interesting, but it was like, okay, I can finally say I at least went to one Blobfest. They actually started, I had asked, in 2000, so this was the 16th anniversary of the Blobfest. Yes, the movie's older than that. It goes back, I think I'd have to look for that one now, because there was that remake. Can't see, so I apologize. Okay, I'm sorry about the dead space. It actually came out in 1958. There was the remake later on. I don't know when the remake came out, but I actually like both of them. 1988. I did like both of them. There was other movies like Son of the Blob. Apologize. I should look again, I guess, of the director, because his son was at the Blobfest yesterday. I was like, no offense. That's really cool. You're sticking up for your dad, but I have really no reason to talk to you. I had more of a reason to talk to his father, the person who actually made the original film. Yeah, Yeaworth, Irvin Yeaworth. He actually did a little speech they put on the projection screen before they put the film on. But his son was there, and it was like, again, I had no interest in. The only reason they even did that, you know, they do it every year, is that Yeaworth actually put out a book, and it's called Father of the Blob. And he says, oh, yeah, this explains everything of the whole origins of the Blob. And it's like, he wrote he wrote a book. He didn't make it into a movie. He wrote a book. It's a simple book probably to read. It was like $20 yesterday, and it was like, you know what? Why am I going to buy something that I'll probably never, ever read? So I just kind of like said, okay, that was very nice. No interest, no can do. So the reason I actually got the ticket, and I didn't realize, it was just an accident that I bought it for on the Blobfest, because I know that this theater, it's called the Colonial Theater, they actually show old classic films all the time. So one I actually really liked was Suddenly Last Summer. I might have mentioned that before it was there. I was really amazed. Actually, I liked it so much I ended up buying it, and I just never bothered to watch it again. I just wanted to say, okay, I own this film because I like it. I know it's kind of stupid. It's a waste of money. But there was numerous other films I've seen over the years. They even had Horror Fest at the Phoenixville Theater, which I have attended and really enjoyed. But this time they were actually showing The Creature from the Black Lagoon in 3D. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. I loved all three of the films. The third one was not that great. The first two were really good. And it said initial release of the first one, of The Creature from the Black Lagoon, was March 5th, 1954. So I was all psyched, though, because before they actually started the film, and I was kind of glad they did this, they said the guy who was actually, technically, he's a director, supposedly, too. They're all directors. I mean, no offense. And I actually had a moment, and I can't pronounce his name correctly. That's why I'm trying to avoid that at all possible costs. I even try to look up the way you properly see it. I have it on my Facebook page. And by the way, if anybody wants to see my stuff, I apologize, but I decided to make my stuff not so easy to access. I just had some issues that a friend reminded me that the way you avoid these issues is you really need to just have people that are friends look at your stuff. That way, because I got solicited text from somebody who said I wanted a bunch of money, and the only way they could access my information if I had added them. But now that's the way it is. Before it would be they could just randomly text me or ask me to add them, but add them. But after I had this incident, it was like, okay, I really do got to sharpen down on who I allow to see my stuff, because this is a major issue. Anyway, I got to see the stunt guy. He's much older. He was born in 1930, and I'm going to see if I can make a feverish attempt to pronounce his name. I just got to find it again. I figured I'm not going to say it. Why even bother? He was basically the stunt guy who did all the underwater scenes of the creature in all three movies. And I didn't think about it. I went back to his table at least 3 times. I don't know if it was his daughter or his wife. And they seemed very pleasant, but I had the chance because I actually left during the film because the 3D was with the red and blue lenses, and it was hurting my eyes so bad. So I apologize for a minute as I look down. So give me a minute because you're not going to hear me very well. Sorry about that. I'm getting a lot of dead space tonight. Yeah, I'm looking for his name. Yeah, Ben Chapman was not the guy. There was actually 2 different actors who actors who had, made the creature come alive, so to speak. But the one guy I had seen, yeah, he's like 85 now. Looking for his name. I actually had it up again. It's very hard for me to pronounce his name. I think it's Ricou. It doesn't. He's an American guy. So, but it's Ricou. That's his first name. Because I remember that. I see that now. I don't know why I don't give his last name. And I really don't want to botch up his name, but he was basically a professional stuntman, swimmer. So, let me try this one real quick. So I got basically a insignia kind of thing on a T-shirt, it was like actually stitched in with his autograph and the little creature guy. And that was cool, and was like, wait a minute, I really got to get his autograph. And I hate to say it, I mean, if he's up there, it looks like Ricou Browning. I was trying to see how to say it, and the first time I actually went to his table, it was like I didn't think, because I was kind of like taken by surprise. I should have asked for an interview. Hey, do you mind doing an interview with me? I could have just done so on my cell phone. And for some reason, I did not. And I did ask him a question or two, and I misunderstood, because I thought I read that he actually they had fit a scuba suit, not a scuba suit, but an air tank underneath his costume, which it looked very convincing, the creature. It looked like a real creature. But he said no, they actually fed him air into the costume, and it was like, that's more power to you, because he did a lot of underwater scenes. He did mention, I felt bad because I was half listening, didn't do it intentionally. I just have a very short attention span, and I will admit to that. He said, yeah, they did the first one in Florida, because I asked him, did you do any of them in Burbank? And he honestly didn't know what I was talking about. Burbank is actually Hollywood, California. But he said, yeah, they did. I think the second and the third one they did do in California. He said where it was. He said it was in Hollywood. It's like, you don't correct a man at that point. I mean, this man is just great to see him again. So I'm not going to make him feel bad or anything like that. I was just really, really happy to, hey, this guy here, in my opinion, is actually, when you think about the original monsters, he would be one of them. The creature is one of the monsters, and I'm talking about Dracula, who was Bela Lugosi, and Frankenstein, which I think Bela Lugosi did do it once, and it was Boris Karloff, and I forget who else. There was different actors that did actually Frankenstein. But yeah, it was Frankenstein and the Mummy. So when you think, and they're not, I think the rest of these guys, I mean, I'm afraid to say, I think, and please forgive me if I'm wrong, I think the rest of them are deceased. So Ricou is the last, and whoever else played him, but he's one of the last ones of the original horror monsters from that you would see in what I would consider from the 20th century. We're now in the 21st century, but from the 20th century, he is one of the last of the original monsters. Would be the creature, because I remember they did this movie called Monster Squad and actually brought them all together, and it was the creature, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy. It was just making some type of kind of memory or movie, just kind of bring it into. It was a slight comedy too. I hate to admit. This movie called Monster Squad. But yeah, it was bringing back all the original monsters. I mean, the last part of the last century, you also had Freddy Krueger and, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Chainsaw. I'm trying to think if I missed anybody, because I thought there was another one too. Drawing a blank right now. Probably Pinhead, but I don't know. But they were the monsters from the last part of the century. But the ones that were more of a real art monsters that you grew up as a kid, even if you watched them as reruns, would be again Frankenstein, the Mummy, Dracula, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. So it was I have to get his autograph, because this may be the last time. Maybe I will never have the experience, the honor to meet him again. So that being said, I did get his autograph. I regretted not getting it at first. I got that and was I regretted it, because there was a line after the film was over, and I was like, oh God, I can kick myself, because when they had a line they didn't want to be bothered with. When there was nobody there, I could have talked to them until I was blue in the face and interviewed them that way. So, so that was really cool, that part. It was only $11. I spent more money on the T-shirt and also the autograph, but it was well worth. The autograph is worth it. Yes, the T-shirt is too, because these are ones that they make. They get 100% of the profit, obviously. So, so that was really cool. I don't know who else might have been there, but that was right down the street from where I live, so who could ask for anything more? And I was happy when I just saw that before I came online. But yeah, there was some weird article I actually posted just on my Facebook before I came on, and I found this really shocking because the guy is awfully young, in my opinion. I'm 48, this guy's 55, and he does a lot of talking, and you're probably going to know what I'm talking about when I mention his age. It's on comicbook.com, an article, and some other links, but the CEO of Nintendo just passed away. Again, the guy was only 55. I'm not going to even bother trying to mention his name or how to pronounce it. I just know I've seen him in a lot of interviews and stuff online. I guess it said his tenure oversaw the launch of the GameCube, DS, the Wii, the Wii U systems. But yeah, this guy was pretty well known for Nintendo's systems. You know, he had a lot to say. I don't know what happened. It's just kind of peculiar. He was really young. Things happen like that, I guess, but it's like really scary too. Speaking of, that was one I missed, actually. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm looking on my Facebook page, but that Memorable Entertainment TV, they actually had on, I don't know if you ever heard of this show. He's actually pretty funny. He kind of reminds me a little bit like Dr. Shock. There's this guy named Singuli. I think it's Singuli. Anyway, he shows all the classic horror films. I might have mentioned him before, and there was one I did miss. It was The Invisible Man, which I totally forgot that one. But yeah, The Invisible Man was also in that mix of monsters that you grew up with when you're a little kid. Anyway, mentioning that, though, I never knew this because I dangled in, trying to video edit and film it and stuff like that. And, they said how they used to do the special effects, because he shows you, Singuli actually showed you, how you do the special effects for making people look invisible. And honestly, I never knew this. It was like, wow, that is really, really cool. How you do it, by the way, is you basically wear all black. Doesn't matter what it is, you just wear all black, and you film yourself on a black background, and you put, like Singuli showed him fooling around with a deck of cards. So if your background is black, and it's well lit, but if your background is black, it's basically like doing a green screen, but in a different type of way. So instead of green screen, you can use to change the background that you are standing on. So you can basically buy, it's like a lime green tarp. You basically lay it on the wall or wherever you want to put it. I actually used it outside. I used a piece of, you buy it like a fabric store. That's what I did. You buy green lime fabric, and it literally has to look like lime green. And you can put it anywhere. The cover up where you want to replace it with, put some type of film on top of it, or video, which I did. And I've done that numerous times in the past. I experimented. You have to lay it flat. You got to make sure there's no wrinkles. And when you go in the editing, you use something called key. I think it's some chroma key. That's right, because I haven't done it in such a long time. I actually forgot. You use the chroma key. It's actually found on any editing program. The chroma key effect basically will put video right on top of the green, so you can change your background and stuff. That's what they use for even newscasting, science fiction or any type of movie they want to replace the background. It used to be called blue screen, but blue screen, unfortunately, wasn't as effective as green because that lime green, nothing really ever matches up to that at this point. You never know. Maybe it will in the future. So anyway, getting back to the Invisible Man, what they would do is it's like green screen, but you're using, like, you just cover the person, like with he had mittens on and like a black shirt, just cover anything that's skin showing or whatever with black. Make sure your background is black. And again, it's like green screen and by what it looked like. And then you basically, whatever you want to see show up when you replace the black with whatever. That's then when you basically, like the deck of cards, a book or whatever, a cell phone, I don't know, anything, that will show up, but then the rest where the black was, everything will look like it's not there. It'll be like washed out and then replaced with that subject. So that's how they made the Invisible Man. Basically, they had him all in black. I assume they must have shot his stuff on the back of a black tarp or something, blacked out. And then they would have the actor and everything else shot like with him not there. And then you would go back and you would just see basically it would look like things are being held by an invisible man or moved around by an invisible man. So I don't know if that makes sense, but basically you cover everything in black, including if you want to make yourself look invisible, you got to cover yourself in black. I guess today you could probably even just use some type of, we call it those lycra suits or whatever, those body suits. You could probably use that as long as it doesn't shine too much, because I'm sure the shininess could probably ruin the effect. I don't know. It's probably what they did something back then, and then basically that will be washed out, and you can put the video on top of that. And the only thing would show through is anything you're holding. So that was pretty interesting. I had to keep this story. I don't know if I want to put it up next. This was funny. You know me, I like to jump around. Right-wing news. This was bugging me all day. It's an amazing percentage of drug possession sentences in 2014 were illegal aliens. There was a video. They claim. Yeah, there is a video. Yeah, so there was an right-wing news. I put this all on my Facebook page. At this point, you're going to probably have to ask to add me. Unless I put this stuff up on my link on my Spreaker page, which I normally don't. I did that one time for that one subject. It says, Donald Trump certainly nailed it on illegal immigrant issues. I'm trying to look. They showed some statistics. It says it's more than 2,200 people who received federal sentences for drug possession in a fiscal year of 2014. Almost three-quarters of them were illegal immigrants, according to the new data from the United States Sentencing Commission. So there you go. Yep, he's just striving, and he is actually making headway with everything he's been saying. Apologize for a minute. I'm going to send this to a friend. But give me one more moment. I shouldn't be doing this while I'm trying to do a show. Yeah, so that was the highlight of my weekend. Yeah, there's a couple articles I had found on Trump. I think he's actually making his point a little bit more of a stronghold on it, and that being said, he might actually have a better chance. I mean, we had presumably an actor before who became president, and he did a really good job, and that was Reagan. Ronald Reagan was actually one of the best presidents we ever had. So, yeah, so that's my politics for today. There was a leaked copy jumping around again on, I want to say it was Batman versus Superman. It was like a long, lengthy thing, but I thought it was something else. But they did put up, actually, I think, an official, like, 3 or 4 minute trailer. I thought Yeah, they did on Batman versus Superman. It actually was pretty intriguing. Actually, no, you know what it was? This is more on that line. There was one on Deadpool. There was one on the Suicide Squad as well. And I can't remember which one because it probably already got pulled. But I looked at it and was like, okay, you know what? This actually does look pretty promising. Not coming out till next year. It says that Polygon.com actually still has one of the leaked videos. It was shown at Comic-Con. It was meant for them. And the video, I think, was almost 4 minutes long of the footage they showed. 3-4 minutes of the Suicide Squad. And when you watch it, it was like, okay, this actually does look pretty promising. I was really expecting it to be just a total disaster because they've been leaking it left and right, Suicide Squad, like constantly. But yeah, next year is going to be a big thing for DC Universe, I guess. It's going to be Batman versus Superman. It's going to be Suicide Squad, and it's going to be probably sounds like what do you call it? Ben Affleck wants to do a standalone movie as well that he's going to produce and play Batman, which I'm kind of actually looking forward to. I think he's going to. I hope he is, but I think he's going to fool everybody, and he's going to actually do a good job. I'm trying to keep an open mind about him actually doing Batman. Yeah, I have to lighten up the mood, by the way, because there's just been some really negative things. Minus that this weekend was pretty cold, went way too fast, and I got to throw that dig once again that I actually got to see Ricou Browning, if I said his name right, from Creature from the Black Lagoon, who actually played the creature, the underwater scenes in the suit, the monster suit. So that was really cool. Oh, I told some friend, I don't know if I mentioned this because I was off for the last 2 days, and this is going back, I thought I was done with my political stuff. But they actually, it was on Conservative Tribune, they actually said that I think it looks like that Clint Eastwood was going to have a speech. Clint Eastwood, I have to because I had my hand over my mouth, basically supporting Donald Trump. And I said to a friend, I wouldn't be surprised if Clint Eastwood, if Donald Trump actually does go through with this, I would not be surprised if he would put him on Clint Eastwood as a vice president, which actually would make it even more of a stronghold. So that'd be pretty cool. I'm just wishful thinking. I realize that. By the way, stories I haven't mentioned in quite a while. There was another one the other day. I posted it myself, July 10th. That was 2 days ago. And it was titled, and it was on Daily Mail, by the way. A Catholic school teacher, 24, accused of having sex with a 17-year-old student. And, there's been a numerous amount of stories. I know a lot of people get tired of me talking about that, but they won't make a big, like the one friend, he won't make a big deal out of that. But that time that a 13-year-old had sex with a 7-year-old, which is not right. He, quote unquote, he had said, well, they should throw that kid in a jail and hopefully he gets gang raped or beaten to death or killed. It's like, okay, so you think that strongly when a 13-year-old has sex with an underage kid, which was a girl, he was a boy, but when the shoe's on the other foot and it's a 30-some-year-old or 20-something-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman having sex with an underage kid, you can't commemorate her enough for doing such a great job and putting a notch in that kid's belt. So that to me is really perplexing. Okay, so you should beat the crap out of a kid who's a boy if he has sex with an underage, who is a kid himself. You should kill him. But if it's a woman, a full-grown woman who has most of the time has kids themselves, you should praise that she's having sex with a tween or a young teenager. That's okay. So I don't know. I really, it scares me when people think that way. it's really it's frightening. So didn't want to go back to that dark path. I couldn't help it. Oh, speaking about that, they've been putting stuff up again, article after article about Bill Cosby. The latest one I had read said that his wife is, she's a great woman, I guess, for doing that, but she supports Bill Cosby and says that was the women who got raped and got drugged and raped. What is that? Drug rape. Not drugs, but, drugged and raped. She basically said that was consensual sex on their part. So I never heard anything so stupid before, but hey, you know what? There's always something new. Yeah, here it is. That was on Daily Mail, and it's titled, Bill Cosby's wife claims alleged victims consented to drugs. I've never heard of such a thing. There was a story, too. It said, Miley Cyrus, I can't believe she can just go even further down the dark path of just being real white trash. But it says Miley Cyrus, look, I'm even stuttering over it, gives a blowjob live on stage. Ignorant humor, and she's got a blow-up doll, and she really is giving a blow-up doll, a male one, a blowjob. I mean, yeah, that's beyond the Hall of Shame. That's just the Hall of White Trash City. So I really hate to end on such a sad note. You know what? This is not any better, but I couldn't believe the pictures. See, it's all about how you take care of yourself. There's this, I'm going to get her name wrong, Ellie McPherson. She's 51, and they got some, that's got to suck when you're constantly under attack by the paparazzi. But yeah, they got some pictures of her in a bikini, and she looks awesome. She really looks hot. She's 51 years old, so she's a few years older than me, but I know some women in their 50s, and they don't look anything nearly as hot as that. So yeah, she looks incredible. Hey, if you want to, now you're going to have to ask for permission. You can find it yourself otherwise, but there was a story on Daily Mail, and it actually is titled Bizarre Moment Man Walks in on his cat using on the toilet, and the cat it's a female cat, and I thought it might have been a male because of what she did, but the cat actually was obviously potty trained. So she used the bowl, she used the bathroom, and you could hear her pissing. The cat pissing she wasn't peeing on the seat, she was actually peeing in the bowl. I'm not going to say that word again that I always say it wrong. The ceramic bowl. And she forgets to flush. So that's why I was going to make the joke. Yeah, I'm surprised it was a female, not a male, because, yeah, the poor thing forgot to flush after she was done using the bathroom. It's pretty funny, actually. I thought when I seen what's going on, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe the cat accidentally went in there. And it was like, no, she knew exactly what she was doing. I thought it was fun. Again, it's classic. So, hey, I may lift that block on my thing. I don't know yet, because I also have a picture up, or I'll just make that my picture tonight for Creature from the Black Lagoon, the autograph that I got from Ricou Browning. So, anyway, folks, I have to re-download it, though. So, I'm going to do that when I'm online, and I can just edit it. Options. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my nonsense once again. And other than that, this is Walter Interranti speaking. It's an old Howard Stern joke, I think. Speaking from the bench, because I am really desperately going to sign off right now. So, everyone, I hope you enjoyed my show. And tune in again. Same bat channels, same bat time, blah, blah, blah. Have a good night, everyone.